In this video, we're going to talk about the 7 ways you could reset the nervous system. The nervous system has many functions around the body, especially feeling pain and movement and our interactions with the world. But what we're talking about mostly in this video is the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is what is usually known as fight, flight, or freeze. It's when our anxiety goes up or our adrenaline is released in our body because our body thinks we're in danger somehow. 98% of the time, we're not in danger, and we need to reset that nervous system, that sympathetic nervous system, by triggering the parasympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system is what deactivates the sympathetic nervous system. So it releases the GABA hormone, which puts the brakes on the adrenaline hormone, calms your body down. Here's 7 ways, otherwise known as things that calm the body down. You might hear them called grounding techniques or centering techniques or calming techniques. All of these things serve to bring us back into the body and out of the head. Those thoughts, those rapid thoughts that go on when we're feeling stressed or anxious, they come from the adrenaline. It's not like you're weak, you're fault, you think negative. The negative thoughts are a natural way to try to keep you safe if you were in danger. When the body doesn't see anything negative, doesn't see any threat, it tries to find a threat. So if it's looking, it'll find something. It'll spin something in some negative way to find it. There's so many times during the day, especially in this crazy world when we're so stressed out and so much is going on, that we need to reset the nervous system, especially if you've had a history of trauma, because your nervous system is a little bit closer to the surface and it gets triggered much more often because of that history. You can fix it, and if you stick with me and watch some of my videos, I do talk about that. But for this video, let's talk about some of the techniques that you could use to calm. One of the most common ways to calm the nervous system or to reset is deep, slow breathing. When you are in danger and you are trying to survive, you would not be breathing slow. So just merely slowly breathing is telling your brain that you are safe. Try to go as slow as you can. Maybe take pauses between breaths, pause at full lungs, exhale very slow, pause at empty lungs, or do a breathing pattern. You could watch my video on breathing patterns, because if you have a patterned breathing, you're also trying to concentrate on that count and keeping that pattern going, and so you're not focused on the negative thoughts and the anxious thoughts. The second technique is grounding techniques or mindful techniques. So mindfulness is bringing yourself to the present moment. Be completely focused on the activity at hand. Mindfulness is not clearing the mind. It's a single focus. So say you had a candle and you were just going to focus and watch the flame of the candle. So you have a singular focus. You could focus on your breath. You could focus on washing dishes. You could focus on so many different things, but it's like a single focus, being completely aware of the present moment instead of being lost in those rapid thoughts that are going on like all the time. A third technique is to label your emotions, to call them out, to acknowledge them. Sometimes when we have emotions, we're trying to run away, and in a way, it's triggering your brain to think that you're in danger because you're running away from something dangerous, when it's just an emotion. We are so afraid of feeling fully that we make ourselves suffer so much trying to get out of feeling. And if we just allowed ourselves to feel, acknowledge those thoughts, understood, had compassion for those thoughts, they would process and go away. It's the running away from them that keeps us from feeling them and then concluding those feelings. So mindfulness allows you to say, if you're angry, there's anger. I understand where you came from. I'll feel you fully. And it really can't stick because it's the judgment of them and the trying to run away that attaches you to those feelings. So if you are being present with it, they have nowhere to stick to. And eventually they just dissipate. Number 4 is some kind of physical activity. So do something with your body, move your body. This takes years off your life. Don't sit still. First of all, it builds your confidence. It makes you feel empowered instead of disempowered. it releases hormones like the GABA hormone to put the brakes on the adrenaline, and it burns up that extra adrenaline that you just don't need anymore. Exercise is an excellent way to reset the nervous system. Number 5 is take a break. Take a little break. We could take a break. Sometimes we take too much of a break. I don't want you to do that. But sometimes we need to take a little break. Sometimes you need to go to the bathroom and just take a moment to breathe, tell yourself you're okay, get centered. And that helps you then be able to go back into whatever is going on or make a plan to get out of there. Taking a break also could mean making an exit plan. Creating an exit plan, so if you're at an event that is overwhelming you and you want to leave, you leave. And if you're going to beat yourself up over taking that exit plan that you planned, then you don't really have an exit plan. You have to be okay with using the exit plan and actually proud of yourself for using that tool of making an exit plan and using it, because it got you to go to that event in the first place, and you might not have went if you didn't have it. So don't beat yourself up about using a technique that helps you engage in life. Make an exit plan. You may not need it, but if you need it, you use it. You decide intentionally to use that exit plan, you are still empowered. And so you could have tons of compassion for yourself that you needed it, but also celebrate that you knew what you needed. And that's a good segue to number 6, which is self-compassion. You have to have compassion for yourself. Anytime you're judging yourself or you're really bothered by being upset, any kind of upsetness is your nervous system triggered. And when you're upset and you're upset about being upset, it makes you more upset, right? It attaches you to the upsetness. If you're judging yourself, if you're afraid of it, if you're bothered by it in any way at all, then you're triggering and reinvigorating that upsetness and the adrenaline. And so if you want to reset your nervous system, you want to have compassion. Just be like, I get it. Whatever you feel, anything that you feel. Self-compassion is so easy. Anything that you feel, you just say, oh, I understand. That makes sense that I feel that way. And when you understand yourself, you don't attach to it because you're not afraid of it. You're not mad at it. You get it. You're not going to linger there. You're not going to stay there. You just kind of throw self-compassion at yourself. I understand. And then you take your attention on something else. Number 7, if it's pervasive and if you're struggling and if your nervous system is triggered a lot, you can seek professional help. You could seek help from somebody like me who could help you, support you in that. Especially if you have history of trauma, don't try to do stuff alone. We're social beings. We're not supposed to do anything alone. We're not. I mean, maybe some little things, but we're not supposed to do big things alone. In healing ourselves, we only heal in relationship. Actually, we're only a self in relationship. So you could seek professional help or get some help from a family member or a friend because you deserve that. So those are 7 ways to reset your nervous system. And if you want more from me, come on over to my website, jodiaman.com, where I have more articles and videos on how to love yourself and open your heart. And you are going to learn that you are so much more than you think you are. Watch this video next.